Hello everyone, no respawns here, hope you're doing well. So we're back, we're not back, we're in the past actually. So this is Hangman's Alley. Now as before, because it's one of those builds that I'm going to be completing this weekend. Oh, there's a random rocket launcher over there. But it's one of the builds that I've been going to be completing this weekend. I wanted to go back because this was a build I've done in 2015 in December. December the 14th is the upload time for my original tour. So I've actually built this settlement before, way back when, 2 years ago, and obviously a lot of you have came since then, and obviously even back then it wasn't actually one of my really very viewed videos. I think it's about 30k views, which back then wasn't very much for the channel. And I thought, so it'd be cool to kind of, as before, with some of my recent videos, kind of give you a quick narrated tour of my older Hangman's Alley, and then I'm going to be finishing the nice, sexy modded one this weekend. Those of you obviously don't want to see a tour without me waffling. What I'll do is I've actually just linked in the description the original tour. That's also at night as well, so you get to see it with all the darkness and everything. But for those of you who want to kind of have a little bit more of a slow tour where we look around at stuff, stay on. So, firstly, pointless turrets, I don't know. This is obviously pre any mods whatsoever. The game had been only out for like a month, maybe 3 weeks at this point. So let's have it. We'll leave Deacon there to guard the entrance. So I remember being more proud of this than I am now. I think I love the top level still, but it looks quite dated, but I like the top levels, or at least kind of the use of space. So basically, my whole premise with this one was I wanted lots and lots of walkways. Now again, this is pre-mods as well. So for example, like these walkways look a little bit floaty. They're obviously using, your standard floor pieces, whereas obviously now I'd probably, make some incredibly complex one using ply boards and all the boards and stuff like that. I do have one mod installed which slightly changes Hangman's Alley's, I think, this building a little bit, and there are barrels down there. It's changed a wee bit to the point where I know, because this staircase was removed when I came in, so I don't know what it changes, but it doesn't change very much. There were meant to be lights on this, so just as an FYI. So it's quite cramped, but also because this is pre-mods, it's eerily, I don't know, quiet. Obviously I've got the radios turned off for obvious reasons. I absolutely love making these little tubes, and I should make them again. Little just kind of prefab little shacks, even vaguely decorated. And again, just those of you who've been watching all of my nostalgia videos, this is how I used to decorate, which is not very much at all. I didn't do anything in here at all by the looks of things, other than just shove a scavenging post. But what makes this one cool, and what I did like about this one back in the day, is the walkways upstairs. So it's still, there are parts of it I like, but parts of it I really don't. So let's just get rid of the lower level first. So like, I remember wanting to make this feel a lot more cramped and kind of compact than it initially is, and I think to an extent I did achieve that. Let's just go on the bottom level. So let's see what I've done here, which is probably a lot of you have done, which is turn this into my wee farm area. I've got a lot of towers, and I've blocked off this entrance. And this one is unlocked, so people can come and go if need be. And I've got wee things in here. This is one of those little areas where I only decorated the areas that I think I have you walk through, but I might have decorated all the buildings. It is, you can really, like, compare it, obviously, those of you who haven't watched my recent Hangman's Alley videos, go take a look, because it looks completely different. For starters, obviously, with my current Hangman's Alley, I have loads of mods installed. So, for example, I've scrapped everything, and so it feels a lot more open, and it's going to be intelligently cramped. So, but I'm still kind of like, I mean, back in the day, this is like one of my, I've only been doing this for like 3 weeks or something. So I like to think for 3 weeks worth of, not really knowing what I'm doing, he says as he looks through the floating boards. I think this is reasonably decent. I'm gonna give myself a pass on this one for any slightly crappier elements. So let's have a gander. Oh, we had so few decorations back then. It was really bad. I don't know how, but I hope with Bethesda, once they, because obviously it's almost certain the next Fallout and or Elder Scrolls game will have building in it. They better give us more decorations this time. But bastards. Anyway, so I was actually quite pleased with this one, how I've navigated everything. So, because obviously I was going for this kind of, kind of streets, kind of lots of walkways idea, which, by the way, the AI pathing is just fucked in here. They do not walk around at all. But it was a little bit of a nightmare. You probably see planning all the streets that I try to plan. I do like it. It looks good from the top, I've got to say. This was the part I liked about it. Like, from the lower level, it looks a little bit meh. But from the upper levels, it actually looks quite inspiring, just like peering down and seeing all these walkways. Like, this was the visual style I was going through, but obviously in the lower level it's a bit meh. You can see where I've just kind of unceremoniously jammed bits in there. I do have a shop in here, and the shopkeeper is inside, by the way, but no one actually walks up and hangs around with him. This is also still where, back in the day, where, because you didn't have much decorations, it was really hard to sometimes theme certain rooms. Again, for those of you who never really noticed, I am actually playing on PS4, so, this isn't PC where you would have almost had mods almost instantaneously. I had nothing at this point. But still, I was quite proud about how this all kind of lined up. My awesome trader shops, I love these little ones. I will always use this little structure. The rugs, because of course we didn't have invisible rugs at this point, which meant, by the way, that rubber was really hard to get hold of, which means I would end up burning through rubber. This is also, I think, back in the day when I built this, where copper, you still needed copper for making wires and things. So, and the only lights you really had were those ones. Oh, nostalgia, wasn't it shit? So you can see, it's like a lot of walking in this one, which is the whole theme. Don't know why I closed that behind me, to be fair. And only one kind of door too. So it's getting a bit dark actually. I deliberately did it in the afternoon so you could see it slowly, the light change, because the kind of the selling point with this was the walkway and the lighting. But that's basically it. Let me kind of like scuttle back through a little bit faster. So, like, Hangman's Alley is a small settlement, to be fair, so that there's not really much you can show off. But the whole theme with this was lots of streets, lots of places for you to meander. And obviously, again, this is like, I think this was literally my third settlement. I think this was the one I did after the castle, actually. So I think I did Sanctuary, then the castle. This was back in the day where I didn't do building videos as such. I did what's called Let's Builds. And then, rather than actually do building up the settlement videos, I would literally just try and build them up, like, outside. I would just build them up and you just literally just suddenly get a tour of a settlement. Why is that not even remotely close to that? Oh, David. Oh, David. Oh, David. Let me down. So that is it anyway. It's kind of a short video because it's Thursday and I'm going to go out tomorrow. So I want to do something short and then we can have a building video and potentially a tour on the weekend, or just one big tour. I haven't decided yet. There's still some ideas to use here in terms of like making a settlement that has loads of walkways. Still really works in this area, I think. Just occurs to me how much of a useless guard post this is as well, with that giant building in the way. But oh well. And yeah, like, even though this is obviously pre-mods and it's kind of very, 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 very horrendously vanilla, you could actually make something quite nifty using this style, I guess. I just think if I were to go back with this, I would definitely make this bottom area built up quite a lot more, like make it feel like an actual living space rather than what it is right now, which is some kind of undercroft area, just to, it's like an area you shouldn't really have to see. And probably I'll obviously decorate, and then I'd make the walkways a little bit more organic. So that rather than these kind of rigid block things, like here I would make it so some of them go off at funny angles. I'd use plywood, and then I'd put like obviously nav mesh rugs over the top. Anyway, hope you guys like that. Obviously I know in fact a lot of you wouldn't have seen this build at all, and it is literally, I think, my third ever settlement I made after, I think it was Sanctuary and the castle, and then this, so it's definitely a blast from the past. As always, follow me on Twitter at norespawns. I will have a new video up on the weekend. It will be a building video, or potentially a tour. I haven't actually decided. Depends if I'm going to do a building video or not for Hangman's Alley, or just complete it in one big go. We'll decide. Also, I'm off for Christmas, so I'll have a lot more free time to make videos and stuff. Until then, you guys have a good rest of Thursday, assuming this goes up before the end of the day. And if not, enjoy your Friday and your weekend. Take care.